This is the book of Luke, chapter 12, verse 49. I am come to send fire on the earth. What will I, if it be already kindled? Verse 50. But I have a baptism to be baptized with, and how am I straitened till it be accomplished? Verse 51. Suppose ye that I am come to give peace on earth? I tell you, nay, but rather division. Verse 52. For from henceforth there shall be 5 in one house divided, 3 against 2, and 2 against 1. Salaki. 3 against 2, and 2 against 3. Verse 53. The father shall be divided against the son, and the son against the father, the mother against the daughter, and the daughter against the mother-in-law against her daughter-in-law, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. I want to start off by giving all praises, all honor, and all glory to Kol Haloyim, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Erachako. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who do rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and the freedom to do so. Shalom to the Akwat and the Akim out there listening and learning. Lord willingly, this is an edifying video. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations, appearing like the other nations, but subscribing to this truth. To you, I say Shalom. It's the brother Yahweh Sop out of the GMS Cleveland Church, a fellow servant, coming at you with another lesson through the spirit and through the power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And brother just put this in a group chat, and through the spirit, I thought of a couple scriptures because America is done for real. No matter how much they try to solidify their power, because the thing is, it's ultimately been written. I mean, it's not your will, it's it's the will of Yahweh Shem Yahushai that it's done. And you can see it. I've never seen this much division. I seen the video that Elder Malcolm did with you had the major that basically was speaking out, and you had a lot of people that were speaking out. I forgot who. Matter of fact, it's the brother Itazawan from Men of Valor. He had a video, I guess it was circulating through the internet, where at these major sporting events and these different outings, you had Edomites literally saying "fuck JB, fuck Joe Biden," literally. So this place done. I mean, I've never seen a president have a worse approval rating than this guy. So I don't know what the elites call themselves trying to do. Maybe that's why you can see some of the moves they making, like this choreographed, because they that's why they can come down with that Revelations 12 and 12 coming down with great wrath, because they know they got but a short time. You know what I mean? Again, I always use the analogy, they ain't taking the time to aim anymore. They just shooting from the hip, But they got big guns, you know what I'm saying? So, but, it's all the will of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. If you get hit or if you don't or whatever. So, I'm going to play this copyright disclaimer and then show this video.
There's 90 retired military generals and admirals demanding Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin and Joint Chiefs of Staff Chairman Mark Milley resign over the mess in Afghanistan. In a letter, they argue Austin and Milley should have recommended against this dangerous withdrawal in the strongest possible terms. If they did not do everything within their authority to stop the hasty withdrawal, they should resign. There must be accountability at all levels for this tragic and avoidable debacle. Joining us right now is retired Army Ranger, Congressman Brian Mast. He joins us from D.C. Congressman, good morning to you.
Good morning to you.
Yesterday was a tough day for all of us to watch. It wasn't supposed to end that way.
Yeah, it's tough for me to just watch the exchange. Our fighters coming off the aircraft underneath the flag draped caskets. Just preparing to speak to you right now. I had to sit here and wipe the tears out of my eyes just because I saw those caskets coming off the plane. I've tried to hold myself together here, but I've seen it so many times that it's impossible to watch, especially when it was this senseless, this preventable, and entirely the result of something that none of our service members ever had. They were never intimidated. All the guys that I was in the hospital next to, like Johnny Joey Jones and others that everybody's desire laying in those beds was just to get back in the fight, just to hold the line, just to fight for the things that we believed in. And that's what these fighters were all about. But they were killed by the lambs in the White House that allowed themselves to be intimidated, which is what they never were.
You know, and speaking of the dignified transfer, and you see that, and one of the enduring images of it is of the president checking his watch. And, you know, a number of the families who talked to the Washington Post said, you know, the president came in and talked to us. We lost our loved ones, and he kept talking about Bo, and he kept checking his watch. They said, the New York Post today says the president, looking at his watch, says it all. He can't wait to move on. So for him, this is you know, he's got something invested in it, but ultimately it's a political calculation. He wants to be the one who ended the war. But Americans, by a vast majority, Congressman, are upset that not that we are getting out, but that he did it this way.
Yeah, there's been an important saying that the most important thing that you bring into battle is the reason why. Why are you doing that? What are you fighting for? And the why for President Biden in every single action here is totally unacceptable. And that's what has to be held to account for everybody that's been a part of this process. Why did you let yourself become intimidated? Why did you pick an optical date just so you could have a photo op? Why did you give up the high ground? Why didn't you listen to those that warned you otherwise? And to talk about the checking the time real quick, I've had a lot of fathers, mothers, family members cry on my shoulder, and they would apologize. I'm sorry for crying. I'm sorry for this emotion. And I say to them every single time, there's no shame for anybody that has tears. There's shame for the people that don't have tears over our greatest fighters that gave their lives. President Biden is the one that deserves the shame. He's more concerned about his watch than about giving those families every single minute to talk about how they feel and the stories that they could tell about their sons and daughters, about why they grew up wanting to be fighters for our country and what they believed in, and the funny things that they remember about him. His concern was, how is the time ticking? That's heartbreaking.
It is heartbreaking. Or, you know,
Made me think of another scripture. Book of Jeremiah. '49. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 49, verse 7. Concerning Edom, thus saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahshua of hosts, is wisdom no more in Teman? No. Is counsel perished from the prudent? Is their wisdom vanished? Yeah. I mean, like I say, at the end of the day, I don't know what scheme. I mean, you can see that this guy's at a disconnect, and you're going to really see how much this man is the devil because, like I said, wasn't aware of that. I've been hearing brothers, mocking and making fun of the fact that he falling asleep at meetings. I think this is like the second time he fell asleep on like some kind of, like someone in a position of authority of another country. I think he fell asleep on one of those Israeli. I don't think it was the prime minister, but it was somebody, one of the Israelis. But long story short, you can see the disconnect that this man has towards just a lot of shit. You know what I mean? Just like with my stupid ass people that literally begging for this man from the one Jake that was up there singing, that song. For Biden, yet and still this man passed the crime bill that actually fucked up the lives of a lot of our people. So, to show you how sadish, Jake is for real. But, I mean, I don't know what, I mean, you got to remember, he is diabolical. I mean, I don't know what was the purpose of him doing that. Again, like I say, I mean, because like at the end of the day, I know the president got pulled, but for him to disregard, your military advisors' whole basically advice not to just do it the way that they did it. It sounds like it's more to it. And then I did a video earlier today, and the guy that has the channel Rethinking the Dollar, he was saying that basically, and I had read something prior to this. It wasn't a really a article, but it was like a headline, basically how the elites is going to use the Taliban to clear up, the last remaining like the shit out there, which because when have you known for them to just leave military equipment like that? Sound like it was just too staged, too perfect. You know, so at the end of the day, you know, wisdom is no longer in teaming because, like I said, at the end of the day, Esau Edom is looking foolish. Back into the video.
One of the families at the dignified transfer, and we quoted this man, Mark Schmitz, a moment ago from the Washington Post. He didn't want to shake the hand of Joe Biden because he regards Joe Biden as the reason his son Jared is dead today. A Marine who lost his life last week. And he said to the president after, the president kept talking about Bo, Schmidt didn't want to hear about Bo. He wanted to talk about his son. He took out a photo and said, don't ever forget that name. Don't ever forget that face. Don't ever forget the names of the other 12. That's the least we can get.
No, we have to make sure as we discuss this, we never for a second take away from our service members that they knew the hazards of their chosen profession. And then they went in and they undertook those dangerous actions anyways. That is who they were. But in doing that, they expected competent, thoughtful, American-driven leadership that believed in life the same way that they did. That you fight for freedom with everything you have, or you don't fight for it at all. And that's where that difference lies. We have a president that went to the ends of the earth to quit, to give up, to back down, to not hold the line. Wholly un-American.
Congressman, it appears he lied to all of us because he said, we will not leave Afghanistan until every American is out. And we left 24 hours early. And there's...
Well, you got to remember that the scripture tells you in the book of Psalms that they, the wicked are born speaking lies. They say, of course, this devil is a fucking gonna lie. This devil going, he has a few different blessings. One being a sword, and the other one, his gift of gab, his ability to basically manipulate the truth. His ability to lie. So why are you people surprised? But like I said, it's a beautiful thing to see these people more divided. And I was listening to Elder Malcolm. He did a video. I don't know if it was, I think it's titled "Shit Hitting the Fan Part 2," but he was going into that major that actually, like, he resigned, but he didn't even want any of his pension or anything, and that's a hell of a statement, And then the thing is, he went and did it, and he just laid it all out there. He took that chance. He said basically, but it's other people, other military personnel that try to talk him out of it. So it's other people that feel that way. They just probably want to put everything on the line. So this place is going to be, like the Elder Malcolm has said, basically it's going to be, it's a lot of death going to come, and the biggest division is going to be Esau against E. I mean, it tells you in Scripture that the Egyptian going to fight against Egyptian, and it tells you that one people should stand up and fight against another with swords in their hands. But the biggest, division and the biggest fighting is going to be the Egyptian versus Egyptian.
Still hundreds of Americans and thousands of our allies. So ultimately, people are watching right now, and they're frustrated, and they're thinking, okay, how do we get accountability? How do we get accountability for what just happened?
Every statement from beginning to end of this was a lie, right up until the last statements of Secretary Blinken, who should be one of the ones held accountable, in addition to others should be removed immediately for every part of that he played in this role, right up until the last second. What did Blinken say just now? Well, the terrorists told us that they're not going to let terrorists into the country, and we believe that. Every talking point from this administration, from their secretaries, from the president on down, was to say the exact opposite of either what was going on in the world or Afghanistan or anything else. Those were their very literal talking points. Say the opposite of what is actually happening. And then what did they do after that? They showed us the back of their head every single time as they would about face, walk out of the room, and not take questions, because that's just one more place that they were too intimidated to even take questions.
Well, sir, we thank you for your service. We thank you for joining us. And, our thoughts and our prayers are with everybody who sacrificed so much over the last 20 years.
All the best.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe.
So again, this place is completely divided, and I just got one ending scripture. This is the book of Mark, chapter 3. Mark chapter 3, point is 24. And if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. Verse 25, and if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. Verse 26, and if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand but have an end. And you watching the end of this red fucking devil, you watching his end, his demise, the Most High cold, you know what I mean? Like, he gonna have, because like I said, don't get me wrong, it's Jake gonna play a part and whatnot, but for the most part, these people gonna tear up their own kingdom. The biggest firefights and shit is gonna be Esau against E. You seeing it now. So I agree with the elder on that. So if you so-called Black, Hispanic, Native American, Seminole, Indian, West Indian, or Haitian, I implore you to come back to the laws, to the statutes and commandments of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, or be destroyed. And with that, I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory to Koholohim La Yahweh, by Shem Yahushua, by Shem Rachakodas Wakatham. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who do rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and the freedom to do so. Now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akwat and Yakim out there listening and learning. Lord willingly is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of the other nations, appearing like the other nations, but whom subscribe to this truth. To you I say shalom. Till next time, I'm able to come with another lesson. Shalom, shalom. Mawaf, shalom.